r/ask Reddit. What movies really ducked you up? Sausage Party. I watched it all in mild horror. I just couldn't believe this movie was made and that I was watching it. Saw it in the theater. Watching parents with kids being flat out told this isn't a kids movie. Seriously, your kids should not see this, and then watching the parents flip out about it was golden. How dare they not let Brayden and Jada Lee watch actual food porn? I watched Pan's Labyrinth when I was incredibly sick and high on a fever and painkillers. I was alone and thought it was a nice kids movie. Needless to say, that was a mistake. Big Fish nearly killed me as a man. Everybody's there, and I mean everybody. And the strange thing is, there's not a sad face to be found. Everyone's just so happy to see you. American History X and that ending, damn it. Yes, I was gonna say the same movie, one of my faves. Bridge to Tirabitha. That ending is like thinking the next step is right there when it's 9 feet away. The Strangers. Why are you doing this to us? Because you were home. I am someone that hates being home alone and I'm an adult. I should point out that The Strangers claims to be based on a true story. When I looked up what the true story was, it seems that once upon a time someone knocked on the writer's door very late at night and asked for someone who didn't live there. That's the end of the story. Grave of the Fireflies. This one messed me up so bad because I thought it was going to be another cute Studio Ghibli film and went in with very little context. I couldn't sleep at all that night. And although it's a wonderful and impactful film, I don't want to watch it again. Ugh. Same here. I went in knowing it was on the sadder end of the spectrum, but I was not prepared for what I saw. I did know it was based on the true story of the writer/director. He was the older brother, which makes it why more disturbing, knowing that it's real. The Green Mile. The botched execution in that movie is probably the worst movie death I have ever seen. I haven't been able to watch The Green Mile since Michael Clarke Duncan died. It was devastating enough before. It would destroy me now. Excellent film, but I will likely never watch it again. Requiem for a Dream. Man. Definitely made me never ever want to try heroin. Did everything else but not heroin. Most likely saved my life. Schindler's List. When I was in high school I read every Holocaust book I could get my hands on. Then I couldn't handle it anymore and I stopped cold turkey. When the Schindler's List movie came out, I couldn't bear to see it, but then Ford or something sponsored it on television. Commercial free, so I thought I'd just take a peek. Well, if I recall correctly, it started in color with the woman lighting the Sabbath candles, and then fades to black and white. I burst into tears. Watched the whole movie, couldn't turn it off, and I cried the entire time. My Girl. The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. The final scene still haunts me to this day. There's a reason I've only seen it once. E.T. Even the box was scary. Had to hide it behind the VCR. My parents took me to the theater to see this. I was 2.5. Let me set the stage. The theater was packed because it was the newest from budding filmmaker Steven Spielberg. It was so packed, I had to sit in my mother's lap. All was fine until Elliot and E.T. were in the medical tent and dying. When they put E.T. in the freezer, my little 2-year-old brain didn't realize it was a freezer and the fog was not from really cold to room temp, but the only other thing I could think of, steam. So, in a crowded theater, you could hear a pin drop, and my little 2-year-old voice rise above the silence and cry out, "They're cooking E.T." This caused the entire theater to laugh at one of the saddest scenes in the film. So I'll live with the knowledge that there is an entire theater full of people who might remember when they saw that and heard some kids scream they were cooking E.T. and they smile. Makes me wonder if they recount that story to their children and grandchildren. The Shining. I somehow convinced my parents to let me watch it when I was like 8 years old, because I had seen the Treehouse of Horrors parody of it. That scene with the old lady in the bathtub ducked me up so bad. I was terrified of our bathtub and refused to bathe for weeks after that. You've got the Shinan. I think you mean The Shining. SSH. Do you want to get copyrighted? The Mist. The ending got me ducked up. Got everyone ducked up. Life is Beautiful. Dear Zachary. I will never watch that movie documentary again. So enraging and heartbreaking at the same time. Old Boy. The original. I'm so freaking pissed. I legit showed my husband this movie last night. He was watching it for the first time and I kid you not, he just happened to say out loud the major twist of the movie 25 minutes in. I wanted to push him off a short cliff. I was so mad that I had a dream of getting into an argument with him that very night. But yes, Oldboy is a fantastic movie that messes you up big time. Not a movie but the White Bear episode of Black Mirror. White Bear asks, can anyone deserve cruel and unusual punishment? Then Black Museum takes it one step further to ask, if we had it in our power to condemn a soul to hell, where they will suffer unending and ceaseless torment, is it ever an ethical choice to make to send someone there? Milo and Otis, Fox and the Hound, and some movie my grandma was watching in the next room called A Dog's Journey or something. I wasn't even watching. I only heard the dialogue and I was bawling my eyes out. Bambi and Pinocchio. I saw them both when I was little. In the 70s, Pinocchio especially scared the crap out of me, for some odd reason. I'd add Dumbo to that list. Annihilation. I regret watching it. It was a good movie, like the concepts and the plot were actually good. It's just that I'm a big wimp and the goriness messed me up for a while. Also, that bear. Watership Down. Don't get me wrong. I love this movie, but it was not appropriate for 7-year-old me to have watched. Splice. The amount of times the group of friends I was with audibly said, "What the actual duck?" with just delighted disgust was an experience in itself. Gone Girl. Easily one of the most terrifying villains in modern cinema because of her apparent innocence and gracefulness. Midsommar. I was expecting this to be more popular of a response. Maybe it's too new. It is a ducked up movie though, lol. Up. The opening montage of that movie ducks me up. I love Pixar and I could only ever watch that movie once. Tusk. I couldn't even watch it to the halfway point and what I did watch I fast forwarded. Just, what the ever loving duck man. Kids. Lovely Bones. Just maddening. Jacob's Ladder 1990. I didn't see anyone else mention it and I think it's overlooked. If you're browsing through here looking for potential movies to watch, at least consider this one. Tusk. The most disturbing movie ever. Trainspotting. Baby Dawn. It ducked me up hard for like a week. I had to rewatch the scene over and over like exposure therapy or something to get past it. Mars Attacks. Saw it first time when I was like 4-5 years old. Those alien guys and their eyes and guns had me scared shitless. Then when I watched again as a teenager I realized it was actually a funny movie and wasn't scared anymore. World's Greatest Dad. That scene with Robin Williams and his kid when he, Robin, finds him. I think it freaked me out that this kid was addicted to, spoiler alert, suffocation porn. 7 Days. I watched it once when I was about 15 and swore I'd never watch it again. It was either a French film or a film set in France and they all speak French. English subtitles. It was about this bloke whose daughter is kidnapped, raped and murdered. They catch the guy who did it to her and as he's being moved from court to prison in a prison van, the father of the girl basically does a load of stuff that ends in him kidnapping the prisoner himself and holding him in a basement for 7 days. Every day he comes down to the basement, can't remember if it was his actual home or elsewhere, and tortures him. Has him hung up by his ankles, starves him, all sorts. I remember at one point he even has the bloke strapped to a steel table and cuts out his kidney or something, puts a picture of his own daughter inside the prisoner and sews him back up, says now his daughter will always want him, then fries the bloke's kidney and makes him eat it. Then, right at the end, he reveals that 7th day should have been his daughter's birthday, but the prisoner took it away from him, so it's only right that he take the prisoner's life in return. I love horror films and gore, but that film just went above and beyond. I know now it's just a film, but at the time I honestly believed for quite a while that it must have been a real video and just made to look like a film. That's how real it looked to me. The prisoner just looks so terrified and like he's actually in pain. Freaked me right out. Mystic River. That movie is so devastating that hearing the Usher song that sampled the song playing over the closing credits is too much to take. When I was little, 9 absolutely terrified me. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.